Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kramer. This is actually take two. I couldn't find my video on my Facebook page. There it is. And none of you had found me either, so I don't know what that was all about. But hello, here we are. Let me zoom in a little bit. Well, you know what? With what we're going to do today, we're going to leave it down. Hello and welcome. I want to point out something to you that I changed my sign here to read Susan Kramer, spelled K-R-E-M-E-R. Because I realized that in Stampin' Up, I'm known as Susan Kramer. And if you search Sue Kramer to find a demonstrator, you will find Sue Kramer, spelled the same last name, in Arizona. If you do Susan Kramer and you misspell Kramer, you could get the Sue Kramer that lives in North Carolina. I need to meet these other Sue Kramers. That would be so fun to have a picture with two other Sue Kramers. But anyway, I am Susan Kramer, spelled this way, and I live in Minnesota. If you are looking for a demonstrator, I'd love to help you with all your Stampin' Up! Needs and answer all your questions. The best place to contact me is through my website, northstarstamper.com. There is a Contact Sue form in there, and if you submit that, I actually get an email with your question or whatever you want to chat about. All right, I got some fun mail today. I got my July paper pumpkin, Fun in the Sun. I'll be working on that probably tomorrow or maybe later today. And I did a swap with 4 other demonstrators. 1 we swapped in person last week. 2 I got in the mail today. They will all be on my blog on Friday if you want to see the fabulous work from other demonstrators. And I thought it would be fun for you to see other people's styles too. So already I am needing some water. All right, I have Anne joining me so far. Hello. And let me know if you are watching on the replay or if you're watching on YouTube. I always respond to comments there. If you have questions, obviously you can leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. All right, so I was inspired by I'm calling it a faux flip card. And I believe I saw it on Jennifer McGuire's YouTube channel. She is probably one of the most well-known paper crafters around. She probably has 10,000 subscribers on YouTube or whatever. But so this is basically a faux flip card. You can see that there's just this part here is cut, and that's kind of the sneaky. I consider it an advanced technique using your Big Shot or stamp and die cut machine. It's not a Big Shot anymore. Here is one of my final finished cards, and those stamps I do have handy. You can find in the Trucking Along stamp set, and I'm going to leave this here while I talk about a stamp sale on Wednesday. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. So they just announced today that we're having a stamp sale on Wednesday. This is not included, so I'm going to take that off, and I'll show you a couple that are included. The Your Path Awaits is included. The stamps I'm using today are included. So all the stamps in the annual catalog are going to be 15% off. If you're a demonstrator, that is on top of the discount you get as a demonstrator. So I have to see if I'm missing any stamp sets I want. We're using the flower today and the little happy birthday on our card. So stamp sale Wednesday. My newsletter will be coming out early this week. I'm going to send it tomorrow because I want everybody to know about the stamp sale. So here's the flip card that we're going to be, we're not making this one today, but another idea. Okay, so 10 years ago, Stampin' Up! Had a die. They actually had 2 of them. There was this one. This was called Thinlits Label Card. There was also a Thinlits, I believe it was called Circle Card. Again, this is from 2013. I had just become a demonstrator. And so you got a die. And we won't put that up. That'll take too long. I will grab. So this is what I consider to be a true flip it, which is why I'm calling mine a faux flip it. So all these lines were, what's the word I want? Scored for us. And then that set actually came with another one that you would stamp here, and then there's your flip it card. I'll do it again. There's your flip it card. And I do have some samples. This one we added another flap to it, and then made our flip it, excuse me. And I actually have directions, and if you really want the non-faux flip it, a true flip it, I do have directions for a few different card sizes. But this, you had to measure and cut and then do both sides, and we're going to do it a little easier today. As I said, it's still kind of an advanced technique using our emboss machine, our cut and emboss machine. So what I have today is a standard A2 size 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. And then I have one cut already, so I know where I'm going. We're just going to start with that. The paper I'm using is, I forget what this is called, the Inked Botanicals, and I already have that cut and ready to go. So let's see, how do I do this? To create our card, standard A2 card. You could probably go the other way, the 4 1/4 by 11. I haven't tried it lately. We're going to score in the middle at 4 1/4. Make sure you're scoring and not cutting. All right, and then normally, well, you could just make a Z fold, but we're going to do something a little different. So I'm putting it, so that was 4 1/4. Half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So I'm lining this up here at 2 1/8, and then I'm going to take a pencil and just mark lightly at the top and the bottom. Let's see if that's good enough. I have seen where people score that the whole way, and when we get there, I'll show you why I didn't do that. Now, this is the part I'm not sure you're going to be able to see, but I will do my best. We are using, where did my dice go? Not these. Where'd they go? Uh-oh. Let me keep looking. I was going to use, they're probably right in front of me, aren't they? The Radiating Stitches dies. I only have these circles. Well, I will show you with the circle. Oh, I know, there they are. Sorry, I do want to use these because it's what I have cut and planned. So I'm going to use the larger, the middle size. So the large one is a full card front size, and then these two are layers. So I'm going to use the larger one. So what you do is you cut one of these out of scrap paper, and then you fold it in half, and you can see that I've used a permanent Sharpie, and I've marked the middle here and here. So that's the middle of this direction. The one thing that you may have trouble with if you try this are new plates. This is a newer one because it has a 3 and it says Stampin' Up! On it. I don't know if you can see, but that has a beveled edge. These old ones do not have a beveled edge. You can see how well loved and well used that one is. If you have trouble with this technique, it could be because of the beveled edge. Your cutting might actually be where the bevel ends and not at the edge of your plate. I hope that makes sense. And it might make sense when we get here. All right. Can you see? All right. All right. So, my card with my pencil marks here at 2 1/8. I saw one on that side. I'm going to center this top to bottom as best I can. You know what? I can't see the mark there. Well, I'll do it anyway, and if it doesn't turn out the way I want it to. So I'm lining up the center of my die on that pencil mark here, and that pencil mark here. Then I am only cutting, I only want to cut this side. I don't want to cut this side. To do that, you line up the edge of your plate with where you want the line to be. Because here, where my plate is not, right here, this isn't thick enough to actually cut. When the sandwich to be thick enough, when the sandwich is thick enough, it's going to start cutting. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to hold this in place and advance it. I moved it. Hold on, let's see if I can, I don't know if I can actually do this on camera. Hopefully you get the idea. So I line that up, my center marking with the pencil line, and that's right where the edge of my cutting plate goes. There. And when it grabs it, it didn't work. Hold on, let me try one more time. I think it's because I'm at a funny angle and I can't. No, it's not working. Third time's the charm, right? I'll hold that. No. Let me try one more thing. Let me move this up so that there's more. Okay. It's slipping. But it does work, trust me. Sorry, I usually don't have this much trouble. One more time, right? And you're probably getting my head in there too. It's slipping. Let me try to do it off camera real quick. So I'm lining up my pencil mark with the center of my die. No, it's not working. Sorry. I don't know why it's not working. It did earlier. Last chance, sorry. This is why I call it an advanced technique. Not working. Anyway, I do it, that's why I cut one ahead of time so that this would not fluster me. So when you die cut it, let me grab that die again. When you do get it to work, and I think I was just at a funny angle, I haven't had trouble with it. This is what you'll get. I will actually line it up so you will see. So that is what I was doing. Where did my thing go? My pencil marks here and here line up with the center of your die, and then your plate ends here. So the plate is here, and then you run it through your machine, and where that plate is the only part that cuts. All right? Sorry, I couldn't. It was just at a funny angle, I think. Okay, let's get back to business. So if you have trouble with that, let me know. We could do a video call, and you can show me what you're doing if it isn't working for you. So again, I die cut just half of my die, and now I'm going to put all my layers together. Oh, okay. Let me take a drink and take a deep breath. It does work. Trust me, that's how I made these. So I have a piece of that Inked Botanicals. I don't have the stamp set that goes with this. Maybe that's what I will buy at our stamp sale on Wednesday. I hadn't thought about it. I had most of the stamps I want already. So I'm looking for suggestions. I did ask one friend and she listed a couple. But this was 1/8 of an inch smaller than our card. So it was 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's only 1/8 instead of a 1/4 inch smaller. And then depending on the die and how much space you have here, I just trim it down to the same height as whatever this is, and then 1/8 of an inch or so narrower than this piece here. So I can't really give you a measurement here because it depends on what die you use. But I just like that it coordinates. It kind of ties the front in with the back, the inside. Oh, my cardstock is mossy metal, by the way. And using green glue, I can center just right. So there is most of our flip cards so far. Let's see. Next we have, oh, here they are, the small no, that was from today. Getting a piece of scrap paper. My grid paper is so nice and clean, I don't want to get it dirty already. So the colors in this piece are Calypso Coral and Crushed Curry. My Crushed Curry pad, when I re-inked it, got really dark, so I'm not sure. We'll see how it looks today. I'm going to clean up a little bit. The stamp I'm using is Red Rubber, so I put away my foam. I'm looking at my video and cleaning up here a little bit. Oh, and my envelope. Don't want to forget my envelope. So this is going to be on the front. I'm going to do a couple like that. And we'll see how this is. And put one in the middle. Oh, see, it's so dark. I don't know if it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to put one on my envelope. No naked envelopes. And we'll just put one on the corner on the inside. Then I die cut a bunch of banners using these Stylish Shapes dies and some scraps of Very Vanilla. And I have a few just in case I don't stamp properly the first time. Mossy Meadow to match our Mossy Meadow cardstock. I'm not sure why I chose Mossy Meadow, but I did. And then I went to look for designer series paper that had Mossy Meadow in it, and I don't think we have any right now. So I found another one that just coordinated. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Stamp set. Go to Greetings. If you don't have this, they named this one so well. I've used this probably once a month, don't I, in my videos. I'm going to use the smallest Happy Birthday. I do like to use a narrow, long and narrow. Let's make sure this is stamping just right. All right. And not perfect. Let's try again. I got some extra ink on there. Maybe this is my problem. And it's not quite flat. There we go. Just down and up. Let go. That one's even worse. We'll use the first one. It's okay. I think I need to trim that stamp some more. Let's put this all together. So, what do you think of the flip card? I thought it was pretty easy. Getting that technique to work was the biggest challenge. So just some green glue on here. This is going to go. These layered perfectly, so I'm just going to put it there. On my other card, this one, I did use the same die I used to make the die cut. The circle, the opening, is the one I used to make my white, so you don't see a border there. And then I used a smaller one on the inside so it can be covered. Kind of like I did here. This was, I don't want that on there. Okay. To put this on, to make sure it's not going to be seen, I want it here, but I don't know exactly where. So this is where I want, the direction I want it. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to turn this over, center this so I know it won't be seen. And then I'm going to close my card. And it's exactly where I need it to be. So it's hidden. And that is how I did that one as well. This I'm going to put right there with some dimensionals. Some mini dimensionals. So I'm going to put one on the end, but I don't know where this other one goes. If I put it under the TH, it might be off there. So I'm going to put this that one there. I do this a lot, where I put the one in the end on the small piece, but then this one I put on the large piece. And I guess I don't want it sticking off. There we go. And then I have a few different things. I have some twine I could wrap around like I did on that one. I kind of like that. And if I remember correctly, let's clean up a little. There we go. I did like it at the top. I was having trouble tying a bow for this one, and I was even off camera for that. I did that a couple days ago. So instead of tying a bow, I'm going to tie a knot and then tie a bow. That's not as tight as I would like. That way it'd be a little tighter. Come on, fingers. There we go. Maybe I'll make this one a little bigger. And I also have, either brushed metallic adhesive back dots, and I believe that's pewter, copper, and gold, or some champagne rhinestone basic jewels. Let's use those. I don't use these very often. You can see I've only used them a few times. This pack anyway. I think this is the second pack. We'll use the gold ones. Sorry, I need to turn it towards me so I can see where I'm going. We're going to cover up that. This is one of my favorite things. We're going to cover up that extra with that right there. And we're going to add extras of these. 4, 5. And there we go. An easy, if you can get it to work, faux flip card. And I say faux because it does flip, but I think a real flip should have the opening here, but this gives you the same effect. So it's a Z-fold with that extra cut in it. So let me know if you want me to try to cut that again, to try to demo it without. I will try it again if you want. Thank you all. Okay. You know what? I do want to try one more time. So don't forget about the stamp sale on Wednesday. All day, 24 hours. So it has your order probably has to start and end or be closed on Wednesday. So if you want to stay up, you could. You know what? Maybe I will try something here. I'm going to try tacking that down. Oh, maybe that's too bent. Okay, we keep trying. No, that one has. These all are beveled. Let's try one that is beveled anyway. And I guess we need that bevel to get the die, whoa, to go through. Oh, goodness. And I lost that card. Washi tape was key too. And when else fails, do it after. Now what I do like to do here, I'm going to come back here and take this at 2 1/8, give or take, and score. There we go. Where'd my card go? Here we go. And then this will fold back. Well, see, it didn't quite far enough. So it isn't perfect, but you get the idea. There we go. So that's the way it should have been. But so I'm glad I was prepared and had that cut before. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. I already have an idea for next Monday, so I hope you can join me again live here on my Facebook page next Monday. Stamp sale Wednesday. Bonus days are still going on. For every $50 you spend in one order, you get a $5 coupon to use in August. You cannot do two $25 orders to get the bonus coupon. So it has to be $50 in one order, kind of like Celebration. But in this case, you get to decide what to spend your extra money on. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. And I do take requests. If you want to see something, let me know. Bye. Thanks for being patient with me today, too.